You know, the funny thing about making friends as an adult is that everyone acts like it's this impossible thing, like somewhere between graduating and getting a real job, the universe just locked the friend door and threw away the key. And look, I get it, in school friendship was basically handed to you. You sat next to someone for 9 months, you suffered through the same terrible teacher together, boom, best friends for life. But now you're out here in the real world wondering why you haven't made a single meaningful connection since 2019. And honestly, it's not your fault. But here's the unpopular take: you haven't made friends because you've been waiting for it to feel as natural as it did when you were 12, and it never will, because you're not 12 anymore. And that's actually fine. The mistake isn't that you're bad at making friends, it's that you're playing a completely different game with the exact same rules and then wondering why it's not working. So let me give you the actual rule for making friends. As an adult, one rule: proximity plus repetition. That's it. I can end the video right here, but stay with me. Here's what I mean. When you were a kid, school gave you both of those things for free. You saw the same people every single day, in the same building, whether you liked it or not, and eventually familiarity turned into friendship. That's not magic, that's just psychology. There's actually a thing called the mere exposure effect. The more you see someone, the more you like them. Your brain literally starts associating their face with safety and comfort, which is kind of creepy when you think about it. But it's also really good news, because it means you don't need to be charming, funny, or interesting. You just need to show up consistently. But here's where adults mess it up. We meet someone great at a party, we have a solid 45-minute conversation, we think, okay, I like this person, and then we go home, we maybe follow each other on Instagram, and then absolutely nothing happens, because we're all waiting for the other person to make the next move, while the other person is also waiting. And meanwhile, life keeps moving, and 6 months later, you've both forgotten each other's last names. The fix is embarrassingly simple. You have to be the one who initiates, and you have to do it more than once. This is the part nobody tells you: friendship as an adult doesn't happen in one conversation. It happens in the third or fourth or fifth hangout. It's in the coffee that got rescheduled twice before it actually happened. It's in the awkward second hangout where you run out of things to talk about and you both sit there for a second and then laugh about it. That awkward moment, by the way, is not a sign that the friendship is dead. It's actually the beginning of a real one. Let me give you a concrete example. Let's say you meet someone at a work event, a gym class, a random hobby group, whatever. You have a good conversation and you genuinely like them. Most people stop there, not you. You're gonna say, hey, we should actually hang out sometime. And then here's the key, you give them a specific thing, not we should grab coffee sometime. Because sometime means never. You say something like, I'm going to that new ramen place on Saturday. If you want to come, you're not asking them to commit to a lifelong friendship, you're asking them to eat noodles on a Saturday. That's a very low-stakes invitation, and low stakes is exactly what adult friendships need to get started. Now, let's talk about where to actually find these people, because I know some of you are sitting there thinking, okay, great, but I work from home, I don't go to parties, and my entire social life is my couch, and honestly, same, but here's the thing, you have to manufacture the proximity that school used to give you for free. That means picking one recurring thing, something you actually care about, and showing up to it consistently. A climbing gym, a book club, a coding meetup, a volunteer thing, a sports league. Anything where you see the same faces week after week. You're not going there to make friends, that's too much pressure. You're just going there to do the thing and let the repetition do the work. So you've found your recurring thing. You've met someone you like. You've done the low-stakes invite now. Now you have to accept that adult friendship moves slowly. And that's not a problem. That's just how it works. You're both busy. You both have existing lives, jobs, responsibilities, and the mental load of just existing in 2025. So you can't expect the same intensity as a childhood friendship right away. You have to be patient and keep showing up. But here's what most people get wrong when they do show up. They try too hard. They treat every hangout like a job interview, trying to be interesting, impressive, funny, and likable all at once, and the other person can feel that energy, and it's exhausting. Real friendship doesn't feel like a performance. It feels like two people just existing near each other without the pressure to entertain. So the goal isn't to be the most interesting person in the room. The goal is to be the most comfortable person in the room, the person they feel relaxed around, the person who makes them feel like they don't have to try so hard either. That's what people actually want in a friend. They don't want someone cool, they want someone safe. And one more thing, you have to be willing to be the one who cares more. At first, at least in the beginning, you might be the one texting first more often. You might be the one suggesting plans more often, and your brain is going to tell you that this makes you look desperate or clingy and that you should back off and play it cool. But that's dating logic, and this isn't dating, this is friendship. And in friendship, showing up consistently isn't desperate, it's just how it's built. Most friendships have one person who drives it early on, before it balances out. So don't let your ego talk you out of a good friendship, just because you texted first 3 times in a row. Look, I know making friends as an adult feels harder than it should be, and in some ways it genuinely is. You're not in the same building as the same people for 9 months anymore. You have to build that yourself, But once you understand that, it's just proximity, plus repetition, plus low stakes, consistency, everything gets simpler. You stop waiting to feel a magical click, and you start just showing up. So here's your actual takeaway. Pick one recurring thing, show up to it for at least a month, give someone a specific low stakes, invite, accept that it's going to be a little awkward at first, and keep going anyway. That's it. You don't need to be charming, or funny, or interesting. You just need to be consistent and present, and willing to be a little uncomfortable for a while. The friends you want are out there, and they're probably sitting on their couch right now thinking they're the only adult who doesn't know how to make friends anymore. They're waiting for someone to just show up and not disappear, so be that person.